Mark Cuban is here. He has been a capitalist his whole life, and he actually started with nothing and became a billionaire because of hard work and just smarts.
He became a billionaire.
Luck, of course. So tell me about that. What do you think about how 2020 is shaping up and capitalism versus socialism?
Well, I mean, capitalism is going to win. There's no question about that. But look, I'm never against open discourse. That's what makes this country great, you know?
He almost said company. That's what makes this company great.
Well, to him it is.
Because that's what it is to him. Yep. America's just a big old fucking business. Just a big old money trough where he gets to fucking wine and dine. And look, he gets to plunge his fucking fat billionaire face in the money trough and go blah, 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 blah.
And I'll say this.
I just eat human souls and shit out money because I'm part of the fucking beast.
Yeah. If anyone is going to make these arguments and sincerely believe them and feel them, it should be. I mean, they are correct. Bring a billionaire on because that, in this case, he's advocating for the world he wants to live in.
At least he's actually representing his own interests instead of sending out some mouthpiece like Ben Shapiro to fucking act like he's some kind of victim. But at least he's making the case himself. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I want to make sure this motherfucker... Okay, so this motherfucker legitimately was from a working class family. Because a lot of times... I wanted to make sure, because a lot of times they'll fucking present these billionaires as like, oh, well, he comes from a working class background. And then you go look, it's like, well, he actually inherited $20 million to start with. But apparently this guy actually did.
Yeah, Mark Cuban
fucking,
did. Yeah, he was a rags to riches.
He's a legit rags to riches guy. So he at least has that going.
People being able to convey their opinions. Now, I'm not going to agree with all of them. Socialism just doesn't work. Medicare for all, I believe health care is a right, but you're not going to all of a sudden create an environment. Well, let's just talk about her plan, right?
Yeah. And you had a Twitter battle with her.
Not even with her, right? I think she just left.
See, this is a problem right here is that Elizabeth Warren isn't even a real Medicare for all fucking champion. So
she's not.
And by the way,
she already bailed on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, she still fucking touts it like that's what she supports.
She bailed on it.
But she has her version of Medicare for all, which is a bullshit version. It's not the real fucking plan. Bernie Sanders is the only candidate that's actually standing up for real Medicare for all. Everyone else is a fucking pretender. So don't even bother fucking refuting Elizabeth Warren's plan, because her plan is basically just a watered down corporatist plan, the like of which you'd probably support if she didn't personally antagonize billionaires on the campaign trail.
This is the fucking soundbite hour. This isn't the time for a substantive discussion.
And look, I do believe that healthcare is a right, but I don't actually believe that because I don't support the policy that would actually make that true.
So if you, I agree with you on that. And that's the point I was going to make when you just said it. It's like, if healthcare is a right, full stop, healthcare is a right.
Yeah, it either is or it isn't. You don't get to say healthcare is a right, but we're not going to actually let it be a right. Like, just drop the fucking rhetoric. Don't fucking say that if you don't mean it, you piece of shit.
Because they know that if you actually look at what people want, and even if the way of achieving it is disagreed upon, most people want universal health care.
Right. And by the way, when he says capitalism will win, he's not talking about capitalism beating socialism. Let's be clear on that. What he's really talking about is...
You ain't breaking the fucking wheels. What
all these rich cocksuckers like me are going to beat all these poor motherfuckers like you because we got the money, we got the power, we've bought the political process, you're just fucking worker bees, and you're just going to fucking work. And that's what you're going to do, and we're going to break you in fucking half, and we're going to fucking take every goddamn dime out of your pockets, and we're going to leave you broken and fucking destitute. At best, we'll give you some kind of middling fucking existence while we live high on the fucking hog, and that's it. And that's what he said when he says he's gonna win. That's what he's really fucking talking about.
100%.
He's talking about, I'm gonna stay a fucking billionaire. I'm gonna stay powerful and well connected. I'm gonna continue to buy politicians. There's nothing you could do about it because you're just a bunch of little fucking ants to me. That's what he's really fucking saying.
But you know what? I feel bad for you, but not really.
Oh, but you know, if you look at her plan, there's just things that just have no chance of passing, you know, and things that just don't make sense.
And I love these motherfuckers in that can't-do attitude, man. America can do anything except for these things that I don't like. There's no way any of this could pass. There's no way we could ever fucking change anything. Yeah, you know what? The history is full of fucking naysaying pieces of shit like you that have been proven goddamn wrong time and time again. There's always some motherfucker that's telling us what's never going to happen. And you know what? Oftentimes it fucking does. This country's never going to slavery's never going to end. Women will never get the vote. Gays will never be able to get married. Sorry. History's proven you stupid cocksuckers wrong again and again and again and again.
And not to mention when the billionaire class like him talks like, oh, well, the Medicare, that's not going to happen. Wait a minute. Are you guys like the most powerful people in the fucking room? So you're telling me if all the billionaires of this country wanted there to be universal health care for everyone, it couldn't happen? Mark Cuban, you having like, what, $4 or $5 billion? You can't launch an intense lobbying effort with your fucking massive amount of wealth? You know what? Any politician that runs against them will spend $50 million putting ads out against them.
If the billionaire class in this country all got together and said, we're going to move the needle to the left on this universal health care thing, we'd have it in a year, 2 years, or we at least have a plan to roll it out.
Yeah.
But the reality is they're the ones who stand against it. And they put out these fucking little puppets that go fucking do a bunch of scaremongering bullshit and turn stupid people against their own interests.
Look, it's going to be so bad for you if this happens.
There's going to be death panels. They're going to kill your grandma.
There's not going to be enough health care. The health care you want to get? Sorry, some Mexican's going to get that instead.
Ooh, the Mexican. No. Oh, no, not the Mexican. They're going to kill your grandma. They're going to fucking ration out the medicine. You're going to be waiting in a bread line.
Yeah, you're not going to have anything. There's going to be no more health care for you, TJ. It's all going to go bye-bye tomorrow.
All of our doctors are going to be living in the poorhouse.
So part of her plan says employers will take the money that we were paying for insurance and put that into the payment for Medicare for all for their employees. Now, she had the choice of saying, let's increase payroll taxes by a certain amount, which would have been the more viable way. But what she chose was something called a head tax, which says for my companies, any company that has more than 50 employees, rather than paying a higher payroll tax, we're going to charge you the average of the last 3 years plus an inflator each year for each one of your employees. Now, that means that in her mind that we'll be paying $7,500 to pick a number per year per employee. Now, for somebody who's making $200,000 a year, okay, that's not bad. But what's the impact on someone who's making $10 an hour or $12 an hour or $30,000 a year? If you know,
oh yeah, because that's who you're concerned about. I can already, yeah, man. That's why Mark Cuban came on this show, man, to fucking wring his hands and concern.
$10 an hour person.
What about the person only making $10 an hour, though?
You mean the person that actually stands to benefit the most from that policy?
What about them? I'll tell you what about them. What about them is now they have health care. That's what about them.
Yeah, because you know what? Traditionally,
now when they get sick, they don't die.
Yeah, so traditionally,
that's what happens to them, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, so traditionally, the group of people that gets the most access to healthcare is poor people, right?
Yeah.
Well, we all remember that,
Right.
Look, can you pay? Actually, I can't really pay for any of this. I got to be honest with you. Well, you know what? We're a charitable, hospital, and doctor. Come on in. We'll give you all these exams and tests and surgery, anything else you need, because just out of the goodness of our heart.
Oh, so beautiful.
And rich people, on the other hand, always being turned away. They just
poor
can't,
rich people.
They just can't get it. Doc, maybe look. I could give you this briefcase full of money. No, I'm sorry, sir. I don't work for money.
No.
I worked in bed darts.
I only heal the poor. Fuck you, Richie. Get out of here.
Like Mark Cuban knows. We
don't treat your kind around here, billionaire.
Maybe at one point in his life he was like that many years ago. But come on, dude, you're now a fucking bought and paid for shill. You don't give a fuck about the person making $10 an hour, because if you're being honest, the person that makes $10 an hour, if they get sick, that's what they need. They need access to healthcare, because on their own, as a single person just trying to make it in the world, unless their company they work for offers that's a fucking fantasy.
Yeah, guess what? If you really cared about the dude working for you making $10 an hour, you'd pay him fucking more. He wouldn't be making $10 an hour if you actually gave a shit.
Well, in capitalism, you're going to pay them the lowest amount possible.
Right.
And that's any employee when you think about it.
But I mean, like, any one of these business magnates can make a decision to pay their fucking employees more.
Yeah.
Might piss off shareholders. I don't know.
You have to hire somebody, and the payroll cost is, instead of 6.12% or whatever it is, right? You're having to pay $7,500 per year. You're going to have second thoughts.
Slow hiring.
Right. You're going to have second thoughts about hiring that person. Even worse, as you evolve into her plan.
Like, you guys even want to hire Americans to begin with.
Right.
Come on. You motherfuckers
As if you,
will automate, outsource, have contracted. Like, and even the people you have in this country, they don't work for you directly. They're contract employees of another company that's subcontracting to this other company that you hired. So you have no liability.
Not only that, I don't know if I don't know what Elizabeth Warren's policies are on this, but like a big part of Bernie Sanders' plans, federal jobs guarantee, and Green New Deal, which of course is part of that, is designed. Like, people always focus on the green part. There's not enough focus on the New Deal part. Kyle Kalinske makes this point often, where it's like, yeah, part of what this is designed to do is create fucking jobs. Because look, someone like Mark Cuban, they're not hiring people because they love providing work to Americans. You know, it's like Scotty said, they'll look for any excuse they possibly can to not hire somebody. If a machine can do it cheaper and easier, they fucking get the machine. If they can outsource it, they do that. If they can fucking subcontract it, they do that. So they don't have any vested interest in hiring Americans. The only time they do it is when they fucking have to do it.
When it's for business.
This fucking idea that there's going to be that Elizabeth Warren's fucking tax plan on her fucking Medicare for all fucking quote unquote plan is going to slow down hiring. It's pretty fucking stupid, because at the end of the day, hiring is going to be determined by need for employees. That's it.
Also, like, there wouldn't be an economic boom associated with so many people being unshackled from healthcare being tied to employment.
Right. So all the people in the middle class, if that even exists anymore, the lower classes, who all of a sudden are not shackled with these gigantic fucking health insurance payments anymore. By the way,
or access to healthcare for their family and themselves.
Or who don't, have to fucking...
Just think about this. If you have a company paying for that, and the private market is like, to pay for your family to have this would be like $2,000 a month, but this employer is just going to pay it for you.
Right.
That's a pretty big incentive to say, like, do I want to take my entire family off their access to healthcare and then put that on me?
Not only that, but like...
That's rigged against you.
I mean, a lot of that money is going to go into new consumer spending, which they're going to need, which is going to create jobs because they're going to need new people to fucking staff the Best Buy or whatever the fuck.
There's going to be more demand for healthcare. There's going to be more. I mean, I don't see how it's going to be less money generated with the economy. If more people can go to a doctor, you don't think that's going to be... There's a whole plethora of services associated with healthcare, and we have an aging population in this country. Like, are you kidding me? And you know what? When you get to a certain age, there is a form of universal healthcare.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
By the way, an extremely popular one.
Yeah. Especially with the groups that are opposed to it on a universal level for all population groups.
You're going to see companies cut payroll benefits because they know if they push their costs down leading into the plan for the calculations, it's going to cost them less per employee, and that's going to create additional problems.
Right.
It's just not thought out.
Unions are going to hate it because their Cadillac plans go up.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, look, for the Dallas Mavericks, it cost me for a family.
I love the alternate fucking universe that Fox Business takes place in, dude.
It's just going to be a job killer. It's going to kill so many jobs. Like, you're going to look at this and say,
I mean, they just trot out all the same old fucking lies they've told a million times before. And it's like, they just expect us to sit here and forget, like, hey, aren't there a whole bunch of other countries that pretty much have this?
Are their economies collapsing?
Did it do that there? No. Strange.
There's countries with insanely high tax rates, and they're ranked as some of the best places to live in the world.
Right. So I don't get it. I mean, basically, once again, this is just because they have it so fucking good here. The billionaire class has it so fucking good in America, they can't possibly imagine losing even a sliver of how good they got it. So they have to sit here and tell us all these bullshit lies about how, oh man, you'd be shooting yourselves in the foot if you try to get health care. No, fuck you. This experiment has been run time and time again. We can go around the world and look at the results, and guess what? They ain't what you're saying they are, dipshit. If this was purely hypothetical and no one had ever tried it, maybe what you were saying would give me a moment of pause and be like, maybe it would do that. We got to look into that.
Well, currently, what this guy's advocating for is just a totally unequitable system that shifts the burden from large groups that could definitely make these kinds of contributions and create a system that would work, as opposed to putting it on the individual and it's an individual responsibility, where it's nearly impossible, even with these insurances, even with this coverage, to fully bear the brunt of healthcare costs unless you're very wealthy. I mean, that's the reality, because because an insurance company can say to you, even if you have insurance, you know what, TJ, that treatment was actually not covered, or you're out of network, TJ, or you have to make these payments. So, oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay us $25,000
as an experimental procedure.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard. It's been played out in the media so many times. Life-saving procedures, bureaucratic, a labyrinth bureaucratic rules. Oh, this actually wasn't covered. If this was covered, so many doctors and hospitals and any healthcare provider has to go through a mountain of paperwork just to provide basic healthcare to people. When you go to a doctor, no one can even look you in the eye and tell you what it costs unless you're paying a cash price. And even then, they might still go, we don't really know. Maybe it's this. We don't. No one has any answers. The system is fundamentally broken. And just to keep arguing that people should just fucking, in droves, go bankrupt, be denied access to healthcare, die. And that's a better system because, these corporations might have to pay more tax. That just shows you where Mark Cuban is really at. He's looking at his bank account. He's looking at the bottom line of his company and saying, your life doesn't matter, but my profits do.
We self-insure. My insurance costs are $29,900 per year. But I'm okay with that because our insurance is great and it's a great premium for an employees.
How good for you.
Under Medicare for All, they're going to take a huge step back in what they get. And like to your point with unions,
are they?
For their Cadillac plans, you're going to have a lot of people that are
those
very
people
upset
that work for you, Mark.
Medicare for All doesn't provide the quality of care
what about the
that they're
people that have
used
no
to.
access to health care?
I have a feeling that's bullshit anyway.
Yeah, but even let's assume it's true. So what? That's still employer-based health insurance, which is conditional upon them working for Mark Cuban. What if one of Mark Cuban's employees has a brilliant idea for a company and wants to be an entrepreneur, just like Mark always talks about, the spirit of people he admires? Are they going to have the opportunity to go and get that? They can do with Cobra. They can pay the full cost of that premium, which they probably can't afford if they stop working for Mark Cuban to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. But that's shut down, so people like Mark Cuban don't have competition. He can just keep staying on top with the fucking rig system, which benefits him, in which he goes, we might have to pay more money, and they're actually going to get a raw deal if they get this. If they lose their fucking employer-based health insurance, they're going to get a raw deal. They're paying for it, Mark.
Problems.
So when I look at this whole thing, though, right? So we've got these policies, and you're saying that they can't work, except the American people are. A lot of people think they're good ideas, and then you look at the landscape, right, on the left, and you see we've got
you know what people in other countries call them?
We're going to
reality. So it's not just an idea. It's not this, like Tina said, it's not this hypothetical. It's not this pie in the sky thing that no one's ever discussed. Look at countries like in Scandinavia. Look at countries like Taiwan. There's plenty of countries in Europe. There's plenty of examples. Mexico, we covered an episode. Canada.
Yeah, I mean, even like little fucking third world shithole countries.
Cuba.
That you'd never imagine would have this.
And no one's saying these are all perfect systems.
Of course they're not.
But is saying that if we didn't, the only way we should adopt universal health care is if it's perfect. That's basically a standard that's too high for any system to possibly meet.
That means
therefore is impossible.
That means you'd have to think our current system is perfect.
Yes.
You had to be like, this is so perfect. How could we ever even dream of replacing it?
That would be the only way that would make sense. If our system functioned so perfectly that the idea of replacing it was just like, people would be like, what? Why?
Ludicrous. Why would we do that?
More moderate. You've got
like
Bloomberg.
Deval
Patrick. You've got Bloomberg coming in. I think what happens there is it hurts the moderates because they all fracture.
All right, I don't care about this analysis from this woman. You could have seen this video a while ago if you were a patron, I want you to know. And check out my podcast, Deep Fat Fried, to listen to neckbeards, coarse and snide. Also, subscribe to this channel, my friend, before this YouTube tower collapses in. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and my content could fill the empty void that exists within your meaningless life of worry and struggle and turmoil and strife. But if it sucked and you hated my words, then fuck you, bitch. You can suck my turds. Thanks for watching.